Welcome back to the Caregiver Minute, where every weekday family and professional caregivers gather to refine their skills, gain inspiration, and prepare to serve. Last year, the World Health Organization announced that Parkinson's disease rates were going up faster than any other neurodegenerative condition, including Alzheimer's disease. What's going on? Well, one of the things that's been pretty well established now is that Parkinson's disease is largely a problem of industrialization. Everywhere there's environmental pollutants and chemicals from the industrialized world, you see higher rates of Parkinson's disease. There are also a lot of herbicides and pesticides that have been linked directly to Parkinson's disease. Paraquat, for example, is an herbicide that will kill stuff that Roundup won't kill. It's still commercially out on the market in the United States, and it's associated with a 150% increase in Parkinson's rates. There are a lot of chemicals that people are now exposed to routinely that didn't even exist decades ago. So what's the net effect of all of that exposure? When you're exposed to some of those industrial pollutants, those chemicals that are floating around out there, it constitutes oxidative stress on the body. And oxidation and inflammation are basically the same thing. So you could say that people are subject to a lot of chronic inflammation. Well, what's the net effect of all that? In the end, all that chronic oxidative stress depletes antioxidants in the body. Things like glutathione, one of our master antioxidants. Melatonin is also an antioxidant. There are many other antioxidants in the body, and when all these get depleted, then it leaves us wide open to oxidative stress. If you have more of a drag on your antioxidants, you tend to develop more severe problems. And it makes it very difficult for our bodies to produce enough of the neurotransmitters that we need to get the job done. Things like dopamine that allow us to actually move in fluid ways. And so you develop problems like Parkinson's disease. So what can we do for ourselves and for the people that we're serving? Well, one thing that we can do is increase antioxidants. Eating plenty of dark leafy greens that are loaded with antioxidants is helpful. Taking specific supplements like N-acetylcysteine or NAC, which is a precursor to glutathione, is a good idea for most people. Now, of course, you should check with your primary care provider before really changing anything up for you or the people that you serve. But it might be a helpful thread to pull so that you can understand a little bit more the role of oxidative stress in the body. I recently saw another interesting example of how some of the environmental pollutants in our world affect people. I have a client who has had gut health problems for years, and she recently went to Europe for an extended trip. And while she was there, she could eat all the bread or pasta that she wanted, and she had no trouble with GI upset. As soon as she got back to the United States and she ate a little bit of bread, she was running for the bathroom. Why does that happen? Well, in the late 1990s and early 2000s in the United States, most crops were genetically modified so that they were Roundup ready, so that you could literally spray the entire field and the weeds would die and the grain or other crops would survive. Well, glyphosate, which is the active ingredient in Roundup, can cause a lot of problems in the human body. And I think some people don't have gluten sensitivity. They have glyphosate sensitivity. Certainly in this woman's case, it made a big difference to be in Europe where grains are not sprayed with those kinds of chemicals. She could tolerate them very well. But in this country, one little bite and she had trouble. I think it's helpful to be aware that for ourselves and for the people that we're serving, if we have chronic gut health problems, it might just be something that's in the food supply that our bodies are reacting to. The more tools we have, the more insight that we have, the more likely it is that we're going to be able to figure out what's going on and what we could do that would be helpful. Well, I hope these insights about neurodegeneration and oxidative stress and the role of chemicals in our environment and how they might be affecting some of us is helpful information to you. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow for another episode of the Caregiver Minute.